Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Come on, man. Stop the spamming. We don't need the spamming in here, man. Come on. Candace Owens versus Andrew Wilson. Yeah, I know. Uh, that debate is tomorrow morning, actually. I think it's at 10 a.m. That's nice. Who gets the money? None of them should get the money. That's ridiculous. They have to pay money for someone to debate. It's stupid. It's so stupid. I really so many of these political people or these figures. They just seem like not good people. They don't seem like we have to pay you to debate. This is just like so stupid. You think Wilson is a much better debater than Candace Owens? I know, but I've really soured on these debates because it's like word vomit. Modern debates are word vomit where they argue about definitions and then they filibuster the entire time. I've been more frustrated watching debates. They're not even enjoyable. They're just like I'm guessing you watch some of that debate tomorrow, you're going to see a lot of shit that's just frustrating to listen to, like no, I don't. I mean, if he can call into my Zoom if he wants to debate or whatever. I'm not going to be taking anyone's money to debate though. That's cringy. Campaigns run on money if you don't have, no matter how good a candidate is. Yeah, I mean, I guess I agree about that, but that's not what this is. Have you researched Napoleon? Not as much as the later era European theater stuff. So not particularly, not a ton of research on Napoleon. For me, it's more so later mid 20th century, early to mid 20th century. Your wife wanted to say she's flossing her teeth watching me. That's I appreciate it. That's an interesting comment. I really got to start flossing. That's how you get build up. Only history you care about is American. Ugh, you should learn about world history in general. Legalizing raw milk. I don't really have an opinion on it. I don't know what the. I'm sure there potentially is some health issues if you do that. Thoughts on the new Bills Stadium? I'm not a big fan of it. I think it looks like a European stadium, especially with the seating, the colors. You were brutal on Florida. Yeah, maybe that was just the way their schedule was. What can I tell? The older generations basically don't care about anything, and that's why America's so effed. Well, I think the problem with the older generations, the boomer class, is that they've allowed American culture to be co opted into a globalized variation of the country. I was thinking about this with immigrants. There's just once you reach a certain amount of immigrants, there's no burden on them to assimilate. If if you only got like a certain amount, like if you become a citizen of Japan, there's probably serious societal pressure on assimilation. In America, it's the opposite. And I think that's one of the big problems is we've just received like entirely way too many immigrants. It's not even that they probably don't want to integrate into society or assimilate, but there's really no need to because the country is just, for lack of a better term, it's just a slop mess. It is a slop. I mean, go look at any major city. So I think the problem with the boomers is they just gave the country's cultural identity away. That's the problem with this amount of immigration. And there was that is the core issue. There was no care for the preservation of the United States as we knew it in the early 20th century. You regret not supporting DeSantis in 2020? I don't know about DeSantis. I think. I mean, DeSantis was a hell of a leader. Is a hell of a leader for Florida, but as his president, I'm not sure it would be too much different than what Trump is doing here. Nothing is more radicalizing than going through an American airport in 2026. Yeah, I've heard it's pretty crazy. I mean, any major American city, the population has been replaced. That's not an exaggeration. Did you see Rubio jokingly say that if he was on a keto diet, he'd be so delirious that he'd bomb Paraguay? No, I didn't see that. I mean, I saw some of that Rubio interview with him saying he liked Pop Tarts and stuff. I'm not. Rubio's a modern neocon. I mean, it's just, Rubio or Vance. I take Vance over Rubio. But it's like delaying the inevitable with either of this, any of these remnants from the Trump regime. Are you disappointed with Trump 2.0 just Iran? Just in general, I think the Iran situation, really, you could argue enriching himself through the means that he's doing it with all the crypto shit. That's, and also just in general, insider trading, selling access to his tweets early. That's not good. The way they handled the Epstein stuff was horrible. The Iran stuff was horrible. The border is relatively good. You can say they don't. I mean, there's only so much they can do. Like the country needs a reckoning. It needs a reset or something. Because you know what Trump is doing, it's just not enough. And I don't even know if it's to blame Trump. I mean, they got the big beautiful bill with the crazy border budget. Geodude, what's up, man? Yeah, I mean, really, it's been pretty quiet. Just doing some videos and live streams now. You think Rubio presidency would make politics as lame and boring as they were under George W. Bush? Well, I mean, we just had Biden. I mean, how it can't get much more boring than Biden. I guess there's the thought that Trump was looming, and so that kind of kept everyone. But no matter who we go to from Trump, it is going to be, unless it's like someone like AOC, then that would really rile up the right. But it's going to be a downgrade in terms of just the general news on whoever the president is because Trump makes so much news and he's obsessed with talking to the press and doing all of these things. I think no matter who we go to, it's going to be a bit of a downgrade in terms of how interesting a presidency is, or I guess entertaining. PBD hosting the big debate tomorrow. Yeah, I saw that's about 10 a.m. or something. I like that it's, if it is at 10 a.m., that's pretty good. I like that it's earlier. Or is it in the afternoon? They're going to attempt to impeach Trump. Yeah, it doesn't really matter though. It's just a waste of time. They're going to do it. I mean, that's fine. It doesn't, again, it's such a waste of time. Do you like Pop Tarts? Not necessarily. I haven't really had Pop Tarts. I mean, Pop Tarts are fine. It's like toaster strudels, basically. I mean, that type of food is fine, but it's just I don't really eat that type of breakfast stuff. Rate Trump's second term. I don't know. I mean, I'd say like a 5 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10. I don't play fantasy football. I was gonna play college fantasy football, but honestly, it kind of looked. I don't think I'm gonna do that either. But I don't play NFL fantasy. I saw they took the NFL.com fantasy. It's gone now. Now they merged it with ESPN. That was nostalgic for me. I used to play NFL.com fantasy. They don't even have it anymore, of course. Of course, they don't have enough votes in the Senate, but they can go through the impeachment process in the House, and then it goes to the Senate, so that technically they can say we impeached Trump, even though it didn't end up going through. It's the same thing that happened in 2020 and I think 2019 after they took control of everything in 2018 because they blew out Republicans in the midterms in 2018, and that was Trump's first term. This is his second term. People think it's going to happen again. I think the math's a lot worse. The midterms this year are going to be a pain in the ass to predict. I don't really think these polls are going to be accurate no matter what. Well, oh, you're going back to the steam room. It's nice, man. It's relaxing. You could lay in the steam room that I've been in. You can lay down and stuff. It's real nice. Same thing with the sauna. I used to do fantasy leagues with my fans, but that was really when I was more of a sports channel only. That was when I incorporated the NFL. You should join. I should join your college football pool. There's 200 people. Everyone puts in $30. $30 for the season. $30 for the season, and you pick players. And what does it run through? ESPN. What's up, Pepe? No players. You pick games. Hmm. Field of Dreams game happening. Yeah, I heard. I did see that game was going on. I'm surprised they don't have that as an exclusive window. Like it's the only MLB game happening. But no, there's a bunch of other games going on. I think right now for baseball, because you think they would want to make that exclusive. It's a pretty cool atmosphere for the sport. Yeah, I'm guess I don't think the GOP is in a great spot in 2028, but we do have to be mature about it and realize it's still very early. You don't really want to make anything definitive, but I mean, this is more of just a global trend that people are going by. It's the same thing why they think that Trump's going to get crushed in 2026, although there's also the added fact that, the Iran war and stuff. But it's like, well, realistically, the incumbents have struggled. Trump right now has a 38% approval rating or 39%, whatever it is. And so people are, they're theorizing that the Dems will take back control. Trump was a one term, Biden was a one term. Now Trump comes back in. Now they think the pendulum's going to swing. But there's just so much that goes into it. It's candidate quality. Who are the Democrats going to pick? Where's the economy in 2028? All of those things play into it because the Iran war could be 2 years over by 2028. If you add that context to it, it's not going to really, I mean, even if people say it's bad, it's not going to have a huge impact on that election. But if it's still going on, obviously that becomes a major burden. Yeah, there's a ton of Muslims in Indonesia. Indonesia has a ton of people in general. Would you rather have Vance in charge over Trump? I don't think it really is. I think Vance can definitely calculate and politically maneuver in a way that could be better than Trump. Trump riles everyone up, and it makes it harder to concentrate power properly. Do you want me to DM you the pool? Sure, you can. I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. They keep mentioning Trump for popularity, but Democrats aren't very popular either. They're at like 42%. Yeah, well, neither party is popular right now. So I think they kind of wash each other out. And it's like whichever one is in, people are going to hate. Then they're going to want the other one. Then people are going to, I mean, it's, obviously Biden was terrible. Trump so far, it's very polarizing. It really depends who are the Democrats going to go with for 28. I think Vance has a chance to be significantly less polarizing than Trump, which could be a positive. Yeah, I didn't know you could DM people on YouTube. I think they probably should get rid of that. YouTube is not the app for that. That's kind of intrusive. If they actually, I mean, I'm not too surprised they added that though, because I was remember thinking you can't just message a user. They want people to stay on their platform. Whenever you want to, message someone, you have to go to a different platform to do it, like directly, unless you get them in the comments. Do you believe the far right Groyper adjacent fraction will slowly take over the GOP, similar to the DSA and what they're doing to the Democratic establishment? Could be. Could be something like that. And both sides get slightly more extreme as the years go on. That could happen for sure. And maybe, I mean, with the Republicans, something like that potentially will be needed if the Democrats do go the route of socialism, which I think they're going to for sure. Now, it's not 2028, but if you think about the way this plays out, the sheer number of minorities in the Democratic Party, they want that wealth redistribution. They say white people are hoarding the wealth. They want some of it. They want it redistributed. That to me is the ultimate end to the Democratic Party. It is the minorities basically eating the party alive. And then it morphing into this far left variation where, I mean, this is the issue with immigration in general, but the Democratic Party is a perfect example. I think inevitably, the more that I think about it, inevitably the Democratic Party is going to have to become socialist. It's inevitable. And the question is, how long does it take? And if you get the Democrats becoming more socialist, becoming more left wing, how is that presented on a election stage? What is the actual policy behind it? And there could be a socialist candidate that wins by the 2030s, and then you're gonna get somebody very far right after that, probably. You DM'd me the pool on Instagram. All right, I'll take a look at it. Ban in 2028. That's not serious though. There's no way any of those people are going to win. This I also do believe it's way too early for anything like that. You're not going to get it. It's the country. I think you need a socialist candidate before you get a nationalist. Nationalist, because we say these things. It's like socialism versus communism, and then nationalism versus fascism. But I think you need a socialist candidate, which is like adjacent to communism, before you get the adjacent to fascism. Because it's more societally acceptable in the United States to be socialist at this stage. Definitely in terms of the institutions. The Democrats inevitably must become socialist. Demographics are destiny, and it calls for it. I mean, they're not going to be able to keep up with this. You look at their party, it's they're saying no mas. We need a redistribution. We can't compete on the open market. Bannon was calling Epstein Satan to his face. Well, Bannon had a relationship with Epstein. That's why they're like, "What's going on here?" Those photos came out. I don't know, the Epstein stuff. The Epstein talk is so tired. What do you think of Hegseth? I mean, this war has not gone well. I don't know how much you blame that on Hegseth. I think he's probably a tough situation for him. Bigger downfall, Alex Jones or Tucker? Tucker. Alex is he comes out really anti-Israel, so he turned on Trump. People got angry about it. But Alex, these people, these personalities, they need a storyline. So turning on Trump is a storyline, and it's like they're entertainers to a degree. I think Tucker is just kind of a clown. New press secretary. I think they're gonna have people sub in, and they want Levitt to come back. Apparently, that's what I heard. Do you think Tucker is some sort of Russian asset? It doesn't even matter. I mean, I don't really care about speculating on whether he's an asset of the CIA or Russia because what's really the point? You can't prove it. It's just what he's saying is it's just like libertarian slop. Thoughts on new $30 million worth? I didn't of gloves. I didn't see that. Stream GTA 6. Probably not. Rather be on a show with Rogan or Tucker. Well, Rogan would be better to be on a show with because that's more of a standardized podcasting format where you can talk a lot. Thoughts on Candace Owens Andrew Wilson debate? Well, I think Andrew Wilson. I agree more with Andrew Wilson for sure than Candace Owens. It's ridiculous that they have to pay this woman $300,000 to debate, but the entire thing is kind of just a charade. And I don't think much is going to be solved through this debate. I don't think there's really going to be this crazy own. I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of filibustering and arguing non sequiturs. That's how these debates are nowadays. It's a pain in the ass to watch them. Well, the Epstein stuff has really become an attack against white people if you look into, the propaganda against that. When it was really all the elites and but the other thing with the Epstein stuff is there's so much haze surrounding it. People can just twist whatever truth they want. I mean, nobody actually knows exactly what happened. Someone knows what happened in the FBI. Yeah, but I mean, none of these people arguing it. They just basically twist whatever they want to be the truth to fit their political agenda. Well, everybody knows Reddit's a liberal hive. It's, I think, 95% liberal or something. I don't know why my account got banned on Reddit. I got IP banned on Reddit. So annoying. I can't even go into a different account. It says you're banned. You'd rather have libertarian slop than Zion. Yeah, but this you got to be careful with that. With see, because now you're gonna ally with the Muslims and the far left. You can't do that. You can't do that. Not that's not the proper response to being anti-Israel. It's like in this scenario, the enemy of your enemy is not your friend. It's just it's incompatibility. That's the thing. It's a racial problem. It's just a racial difference. It's not going to be solved. The far right is not going to ally with the far left. I was thinking about this. People think that's going to happen. It's not. And if it does, the far right is delusional. That's like what I say. Tucker Carlson is delusional. He's like a useful idiot. You want to ally with these people? Well, I mean, honestly, there really hasn't been a ton of stuff politically to talk about if you think about it. There hasn't been a mainstream big story, political story since since the Iran war, I would say. So I mean, there's really not a lot to talk about when it comes to me doing videos. Yeah, I saw the Ben Shapiro appearance on PBD. He had an interesting take on. I thought his take was very good. I thought his take was very good. To me, it made a lot of sense. The idea of you can be VP to Vance, but to be fair, it's hard for Rubio to probably pass that up because you don't know how the political winds are going to go. The one thing that I disagreed with on Shapiro, he's like, well, if Vance loses, you're going to be the leader in 2032. I don't think Rubio would get the nomination in 2032 if Vance loses in 2028. But of course, Shapiro's going to say that. I'm sure Shapiro would love Rubio in, but I think you would not get a return if Vance loses in 28. You're not going to get a return to the establishment. That's what Rubio would be. I don't think you're going to get that in 2032, or I'd be surprised based off of how the country is moving. Well, Candace Owens, I mean, you try using Charlie Kirk's death for personal gain and then try denying it. It's just disgusting. It really is disgusting. What happened to Charlie Kirk was horrible. Everyone was reeling from it, and you just leave it alone. I mean, just the constant obsession with clout because of that. And she's got this hive of like wine moms. It really is crazy. I was gonna do a video on that. I never ended up doing it, but yeah, she has this like cult following of moms who are just obsessed with her and believe her with for everything she says, and it's real interesting in like human psyche to look at stuff like that. Shapiro loves war. He loves war in favor of Israel. I mean, very specific type of war. But unfortunately, what the United States continues to find itself in war with the main beneficiary being Israel. The secondary beneficiary is the U.S. But I'm not on any of those apps, man. Well, I mean, people are going to continue to acknowledge Candace Owens just because she's got such a big following. Does Trump actually fly on planes anymore? Oh, of course he flies on planes. I mean, maybe they'll they did the pump fake once, but you have to fly on planes, dude, as the president. Yeah. I mean, some of it's going to be covert, but did you see the post that half of Trump's TV appearances are now AI? I don't think he really makes TV appearances anymore, does he? He doesn't really make appearances anymore. Would you do another collab stream with Red Eagle when it gets close to the midterms? You think Dems will take the House and Senate is 50-50? I don't think Senate's 50-50. I think Republicans have an advantage in the Senate. I know the betting says it's 50-50 right now, but I think the betting is a little bit bearish on Republicans. It's kind of misrepresenting Republicans' chances, I would say. I think it's going to be a little bit wrong. I mean, the 2022 betting was wrong. It was way too bullish on Republicans' chances. And it's just based off of historical trends. Do you think there is some possibility that Trump is letting all of this happen to turn people against Israel long term for freedom? No. No, that's not what's happening. Unfortunately. Dude, there's no way you believe that the mic exploded. Come on. 5D chess, maybe like 100D chess, if that's the case. Thoughts on Iran Trump diaper Lego video? Oof, that reminds me of another video, a Pred catcher video with a diaper. That was not a fun sight. But I've seen those Iran videos where they do the AI with Trump as a Lego. I don't really understand the point. I mean, I guess it's propaganda, but is it really effective? I mean, I don't know. You think Vivek is going to lose? He very well could, man. To me that's 50-50 and it's just going to be you know, can Vivek dump a bunch of money in and just beat Acton on sheer volume of money? I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. Vivek is not in a good place within the Republican Party. He's not in a good place in Ohio. And you do have the advantage of Ohio being more conservative. Maybe that gives him a 3 or a 4 point advantage, but he's probably going to give some of it back. So the question is, can he get willed to like a 2 point victory? Yeah, I'm actually thinking 51-49, honestly. I've been thinking more about that recently. The question is, how the fuck do you predict Maine, Alaska? I think Ohio, you got to go Republican. If you have Republicans taking the Senate, they got to win Ohio. Obviously, Iowa's got to go to Republicans. Georgia and North Carolina will go to the Dems, but it's like Maine, Alaska. You talk about Texas. I've heard bad things about Paxton. He's not a good candidate, let's just say. He really does not go out and people say he doesn't work hard. I don't know how true that is. Yeah, it's a rumor I've heard, but you're voting for Vivek. Yeah, it's really a hard decision. I mean, I'm definitely not voting for the Democrat. I'll say that. El Sayed will lose. It's possible. That'd be huge. To flip that flip that in Michigan. If El Sayed loses, I'm guessing they're not going to win the Senate. They're going to be shut out. I mean, they would have to get everything because that's a flip, and that puts them at 54. I mean, yeah, North Carolina is going to be gone, so it goes back to 53, but then they're going to have to, they'd have to take Ohio, really, because they need to get to 51. If it is 50-50 down the middle, that would be a bad night for Republicans, but technically they still hold it because of the executive control. 50-50 would be a bad night, but again, technically they would hold. But if they flip Michigan, I can't see anything worse than 50-50. But Michigan might be a singular data point because of El Sayed poor candidate quality. And it might not, it might be a different story in Ohio. The candidate quality is a lot better for the Senate there from the Democrats with Brown. Not saying he's going to win. DSA candidates losing will really ramp up the divide in the Democrat Party. Yeah, and that's something they're going to have to deal with because you look at what happened with Wisconsin and just the crazy polling miss, and now they're trying to bring the DSA in to campaign with the guy that won. It's going to be very hard for them to try and bridge those gaps between the establishment left and then the more radical left. And they're going to have to try and form their position against Trump instead of in favor of whatever the Democrat is. You got to vote this. You got to vote for the Democrat because Trump is such a demon, and it's just going to be viewed as a vote against MAGA. That's what they're going to have to do. 25th anniversary of 9/11's in a couple of weeks. Yeah. That was insane. It was very bad last year because you had 9/10 with the Charlie Kirk assassination and then 9/11 the next day. So now you've got the 1-year anniversary of the Kirk assassination on the 10th, and then you have the 25th year anniversary. The DNC has already screwed Sanders. They would just keep screwing socialists. Okay, there's a few different things. This iteration that I think was really born post 2020 and really the woke era, this to me is a much more extreme variation of the Sanders type of socialism, and I think it's inherently different than what Sanders socialism was. I think it's a lot more radical leftist type ideology that is more so based around rejecting what America was and trying to formulate something completely different versus what Sanders wanted. So I think that, and also the party dynamics are different to where there's so many younger people. Like if you look at the difference, there's a lot more younger people involved in politics in general, but especially on the left. They're very politically active and they're all very radical. So I think there's probably the DSA or the socialist wing. They're more obnoxious, they're louder, and they probably have more political power because they've just got more people. But they're probably also more to the left. Your birthday's on 9/10 or 9/11. Anyone that has a birthday on 9/11, that's tough. Just in September. Yeah, mine's September 28th. Yours is 9/12. So you're saying the DSA people will eventually beat the establishment? Yeah, I think long term they're going to. But it is such a hard prediction because you just don't know if the country is going to get less radical depending. But I believe in the way immigration is going, they're going to get more radical. Both sides are going to get more radical. Yours is 16th. Yeah, the September birthdays are pretty. There's a lot of them based on the window. September, October birthdays. Just finished 25 minutes in the steam room after biking 14 and a half miles, feeling incredible. That's impressive, man. Yeah, you will feel good after that. That's a payoff. You inspire me to do something like that. That's gonna help yourself. It's gonna help your mental health for sure. Thoughts on the couple climbing the entire state building is like some communist bullshit I saw. If you're talking about the Empire State Building where they made it to the top, it's just attention seeking behavior. It's I don't really have a I have a neutral opinion against it. It doesn't really do anything for me. Is 9/11 a legitimate reason to stop immigration? Well, it is insane. I mean, that should have been you, and it didn't do anything. Oh yeah, it stopped immigration. All right, look at where we're at 25 years later. What great propaganda we got out of that event with thousands of Americans dead, and those guys coming over on temporary visas, and we just keep bringing them in. So evidently, it didn't work. Any of the propaganda against immigration didn't work using 9/11. Future will basically be DSA communist left wing versus the America First Groiper right wing. Could be. Could be. I mean, I don't know if it gets that extreme, but it's the immigration situation. They have people have to know with politics. I mean, it's gonna bubble up to a point, and it's just not. I mean, it's already. You look at all the major cities. It's really already happened. It's pretty remarkable the replacement migration we've seen, the aggressive replacement migration in the past 60 years. That's the issue with the boomers. It's eroded American culture. And it's and the thing is, I don't even understand that concept. And I guess well, I live in a first world country, but like technically I'm Irish. I would never want to put Ireland before the United States. Like what the fuck? It doesn't you have people that are Mexican but they're born in the United States but they still support Mexico over the US when you ask them who would you rather, win in a war hypothetically. It's just like these people are not assimilating. And there's no reason for them to and this doesn't make sense. It's just not working. Like the country is it's not it's like we're not sovereign. America peaked in the 1950s. Well, the middle class certainly had a lot more buying power relative, and there was a lot more cultural cohesion with the demographics for sure. Is Sneeko terrible? Well, Sneeko's just emblematic of the problem we have with immigration, and it's a white envy problem. He's got a lot of envy against white people, envy against Western culture, but he lives in the West and he takes advantage of all of our capitalist, ability to make money, and so it's infuriating. I mean, come on, like you're gonna LARP against the stuff that you're utilizing to make money. It's the joke. That's the thing. People that live in the United States, but then they hate America. You need to leave the country. Like, not even as like a joke. No, you need to leave the country. I'm sorry, but unfortunately, it is a joke because what can we really do? I mean, we're not going to have authority. We don't have anyone in power that'll do that. NFL expansion. I don't think NFL expansion is going to happen anytime soon. I mean, I could give a list, but NFL expansion still seems pretty far off to me. Because with the NFL, they're already up to 32. You get up to 32, you're really stretching it. You're creating unequal divisions. You go up to 34, or you could do 36. They might just go to 36. NFL expansion to Toronto? I don't think so. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but Gen Alpha, they're doomed. Well, I think it'll be a political war before Gen Alpha. There'll be a radicalization that continues to happen with both sides, I think. But again, it's like whatever the left is, and maybe I need to do a video on this stuff, but it's like whatever the left is, this is just not what the United States is. It was never this. This is not how the country was founded. This is not how the country became what America is today. It's just complete subversion of what the United States is and was. I mean, how can this be respected? And I guess it's all 20-year-old college kids that like this stuff, but you also do like a study on the low IQ empathy. It's a big problem, especially amongst young people. Gen Alpha is basically 50-50 white or non-white. And then, it's like, how do you classify a white person? Because they got like white Hispanics and everything. It becomes hard. I've heard the numbers are down to like 56%. And again, that depends on a classification just in the country. But like, why? How, I don't want to get into it because it's, but it's just not a very good thing. Let's say that. Is anything going to happen with voter ID? Voter ID is another ultimate black pill. Voter ID has a 95, I say 99% Republican approval rating. We voted the Republicans in the executive branch. We voted them in within Congress and the House of Representatives and the Senate, and they can't pass something that has a 99% Republican approval. I don't really, I don't know what to say. And I know the filibuster and all of that, but this is just not, the government is not working right if this cannot pass. I mean, Daniel Callahan, white conservative migration from Canada, South Africa, and the rightward shift of Latinos will ultimately save the country. Yeah, I don't know how much migration you're getting from South Africa. They don't have many white people left there. Latinos, conservative. I don't know, man. You can't really rely on that. I think if people rely on those Latino Trump numbers, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. I think that's an aberration. Yeah, the Hart-Celler was it just completely changed. I mean, and that's the thing. That wasn't even democracy. People didn't vote on that. That was just passed. It wasn't like American citizens voted on that. And then they said it wasn't going to change the demographics. Who's worse, Rogan, PBD, or Tucker? I mean, I think those are three different people. Rogan and PBD don't have political aspirations, so I don't know if that's really a good comparison. I mean, I guess Tucker, but again, Tucker is someone that could be very annoying politically, so that's why I would say Tucker. Rogan and PBD are just podcast hosts. I mean, I guess Tucker right now is also a podcast host, but he's much more politically involved. So it's a hard comparison. Thoughts on Fishback being within 5% of Byron Donalds in early polling? You also believe it was that's I don't believe that's real. I highly doubt Fishback is going to be anywhere. And look, I don't like Byron Donalds, but if you want an honest answer, I don't think that's true. And listen, there's been a lot of wrong polls with primaries, so I'm not going to say anything too much, but I'd be shocked if Fishback won. I thought they would have gotten a better candidate than Donalds to usurp DeSantis, but it's obviously that was the MAGA candidate is Donalds. Typhoon, what's up, man? Typhoon, I'm waiting on one more drop. I need one more drop. Can we get into the mid 50s? Can we get into the lower 50s maybe? Can we get strategy down into the 70s? That would be preferable. I know, dude. That's the thing. It's like you say you don't like America, get out. No, literally. But you know how is something like that enforced, and that's the thing is, and that really is emblematic of the issue with immigration. These people, they think they can come into our country, they can take the welfare state, use it to their advantage, and then say they hate our country. This is not working. I'm sorry, it's just not. We're gonna have to do something different. We can't keep doing this with these people. Rightward shift of Latinos would hold with Rubio. Ugh. Yeah, but then what Middle Eastern war are we involved with Rubio? I mean, Rubio is extremely pro-Israel, and who knows what he would do with Iran if Iran was still around, if Trump doesn't finish it. The Bitcoin drop is over unless there's a market crash. Bro, there's supposed to be one more drop. There's one more major drop into the 50s or the 40s. Do you think people in this administration deserve to be prosecuted for corruption? Well, listen, there's been a lot of corruption with this administration. It's been unfortunate. Whether or not, there's a lot of corruption in politics in general. With the stock trading and the insider knowledge, it's all bad. I don't know what's going to happen. I think there's going to be a lot of preemptive pardons. I'll say that. There's going to have to be. They're gonna have to give out a lot of preemptive pardons. And I think it's unfortunate that Trump has picked this route. The first term, there really wasn't any of this, and it's been a lot this term. And you think 60 to 63 is a good buy if Bitcoin goes? Well, no, I agree it's a good buy. I'm saying if you want to, you could time it a little bit better. But I think right now, yeah, Bitcoin's a good buy for sure. I'm just saying I think there's potentially one more drop if we're timing the cycle exactly. I mean, there may not be another drop because everything's been less volatile. Vance is also pro-Israel, but the thing is with Vance is people the type of Vance is going to be seen as pro-Israel no matter what. To a lot of the people on the right, especially the people on the further right, they will not accept Vance. But yeah, Vance is less pro-Israel than Rubio. Now I don't know. That's not really a high bar, but the other thing is, does Vance have his own agency? That's the problem. It's like Vance has been funded. Now he's running with MAGA and he needs Trump's endorsement. And as an individual, on an individual level, does Vance have his own agency as a politician? It's like he's been made by Trump to a degree. That's always a concern. Midterm sell-off starts September till late October. Yeah, hopefully that happens again. Because I got a lot of gunpowder to get in. Rubio would also escalate against Cuba. I think that's already going to happen. They're going to escalate after this midterm against Cuba. It's very obvious. So that would be a continuation of whatever Trump does because they're going to do something against Cuba. You would enjoy a video hypothetical NFL expansion to 36 teams. Yeah, well, 36 teams, you introduce possibly a European wing. I don't think they would do that, but if that would be the idea, an entire division in Europe. But if I had to pick 4 cities, I'd have to really look into. I mean, maybe Austin, Texas, but that becomes a problem with Domain with the other teams in Texas. Yeah, you'd probably put one in Canada. You'd be looking at Salt Lake City as an option, smaller market option, similar to like Buffalo. When the Fed raises the rates, will it most like? Well, we don't know if the Fed's going to raise rates or not. They got Warshin. If it was Powell, they would be raising them for sure. Warsh might keep them the same. They're either going to be there's either going to be a 0.25 basis point raise or they're going to be kept the same. But I saw the recent odds that it's potentially going to be kept the same for the September meeting. Powell would have raised them for sure, and Warsh still might. We'll have to see. But if they do raise, I mean that could be a catalyst for a drop. Although a lot of the time nowadays that gets baked into the market already, and so there's really not a reaction unless it's surprising. What do you think of a Ted Cruz 2028 run? Yeah, he's not going to win anything. He'll get 1% or 2%. I mean, he'll get support from Israel donors maybe, but I don't see anything. It's like Nikki Haley to a degree running. It's not going to do anything. Man, the Bears are going to have to do something on that stadium. That's been so long. Yeah, Jaguars, they're building that massive addition to their stadium. RFK Jr. running in 2028, he obviously won't, but it's just hypothetical. I don't think he's going to run, and I don't think he'd win. Seeker of the way, thank you. Warsh is trying to build credibility that he isn't Trump's puppet. Yeah, so maybe then a hike is in store. Jags will be in Orlando for one season. Ted Cruz would get destroyed in a general. Yeah, he would, but he's not gonna make it there. Fruit roll-ups. I don't eat fruit roll-ups. That's a kid's thing. Fruit roll-ups are good, but I don't eat them. Is McConnell alive? It's such a joke. I mean, McConnell, he should have retired. They should have forced him to retire 10 years ago. It's malpractice, these problems with how old these people are. Dude, what are you even? I don't even know what you're talking about, man. If Dems win the House and Senate, Trump could be impeached for a third time, potentially be the first president to remove from office. Unless he resigns like Nixon did. No, even if that happens, I don't think they're going to be able to impeach him. Don't you need 2/3? I think you need 2/3 in the Senate, so they're not going to get, unless what happens is so egregious that some of the Republicans senators decide to vote him out. 67 votes. It's not going to happen unless something really bad happens, because the Republican senators will just, even if there's 52 Democratic senators, you're not going to vote. They're not going to get to 67. Yeah. Well, what time is that? What is that? 10 a.m. What time is the debate at exactly? I can watch it when I'm eating lunch. Maybe. So if it's at 10 a.m., that's great. But if it's at night, then it's like, come on. Does anyone know what time that debate is? No, I think Oklahoma has a really good defense. It's just like a thing where the offense is not good enough. They face really good teams in the SEC. I don't think they're going to win close games. They got lucky last year, I think. Look at what happened to them against Bama in the playoff. Yeah, I'll come out with commentary on the debate. No, I don't think so. That's a bit too early for me. And they probably don't want people streaming it. You're not allowed to stream debates like that. They get angry. Do you eat lunch at 10 a.m.? Maybe not that early. That's a bit early. I eat lunch pretty early. I'm really hungry when I wake up. I don't like eating late at night or at night, so I'm normally pretty hungry when I wake up. If I start working out again, I think I'll definitely have a better hunger situation going on. Right now, it's really throwing off. Yeah, 10 a.m. is pretty early for a debate. What time do you go to sleep? It's unfortunate the past few nights it's been around 3 a.m. It's not good when I go to bed at 3 a.m. because it's this whole thing and I try not to do it. But most nights I go to bed about 1 a.m. It's 1:30. Yeah, that was because it didn't make sense to stream that because I wasn't going to be able to talk. You can't react to something like that, and I just said there's no point in doing it. You can't really react to a podcast. You're going to be stopping every second, and people want to see it live anyways. So it didn't make sense. That's why that happened. Thoughts on your chat? The chat is doing well tonight. Yeah, I will do a. If people want, if people want to call in, I'll do a call in stream. I can set up the Zoom. It seems like it's pretty easy. It'll probably be through Zoom though. That's the thing, unless people want it to be on something else. How come Vivek was really popular with the GOP in late 2023, early 2024, but now because he had some meltdowns. Yeah, the Discord. The problem with Discord is I have to really look into how I can do that because Discord, I can do it, but it's just I have to be able to mute it. I have to have everyone muted when they join, and then I unmute people one by one. It's very easy to do that on Discord or on Zoom. Discord, it's seemingly a lot harder. Thoughts on Trump ending national daylight savings? No, no, no. It's gonna be. They're gonna keep daylight savings. They're not gonna switch back. They're not gonna be on standard time at all. It's a good move. Are you gonna stream during the midterms? Like on midterm night? I would imagine yes. You need to make it voice only. Yeah, that's true. I have to figure out a way to do that. Yeah, Vivek is obviously very pro immigration and yeah, at midterm night, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure really Fishback. I don't know what his odds are right now, but They've got no change at 71%. There's no way there's 32 million in volume on this alone. Or is this the entire? Wow. The September 16 market has 32 million in volume. I would prefer they rate. I mean, if they can raise it and maybe it's a catalyst for a Bitcoin drop, I would appreciate it, honestly. Then maybe they bring it back down in a few months. Inflation has slightly gone up because of this war. I didn't realize it had gone up by like 1%. A little bit more than 1%, maybe. I mean, dude, how are we supposed? Look, I'm not saying this is the end all be all, but my goodness. Yeah, I saw that with Elijah Schaffer on Piers Morgan. That is true. Vivek had a time period where he was like the Trump. He was like the Trump puppet for a little bit because Trump wasn't doing any of the debates, and Vivek came in as the propaganda for Trump, like the MAGA candidate by default, by proxy. The whole story with Trump moving to a different jet is concerning. Yeah, I think that is pretty. I mean, what can you really say other than, well, hopefully nothing happens? I mean, I don't know what else we could say at this point. Trump has dodged a lot of these attempts, and hopefully that continues. Otherwise, it's going to be there's going to be an immediate big problem if something happens to Trump. Yeah, I mean, my stream was fun in 24 because Trump won. Imagine if he would have lost. That would be a like the midterms are probably going to be a lot more ugly. And I don't think they're going to get crushed in the midterms, but they're not. It's going to be tough for them to keep the House. Not that we would expect them to keep the House at this point, but still. You should have stayed up till 8 a.m. on election night. I physically couldn't. Yeah, I'm not sure why I was so tired. I guess from talking for 8 hours, but that was I couldn't really stay up. I didn't even milk it to let Trump speak because I could have you could have gotten more donations. You really got to kind of be a trooper and tough that through. You got to be a trooper. I mean, if you can make another $1,000 staying on another 30 minutes, you kind of got to be a trooper about it. But I was like, it's just yeah, I honestly should have. I should have taken some type of caffeine or stimulant just to get me through another hour or so. Yeah, you keep saying the same thing about Rubio, dude. Come on with Rubio. We're really doing the Rubio hype. What movie do you want to see? I don't know. I'd have to. I haven't seen any great trailers. I have to look. I do like watching movie trailers, but I haven't necessarily seen anything that looks amazing. And I don't think it's like they got to give you something for September, October. We need something. Imagine a really good horror movie comes out in October or even September. That would be an amazing thing. You were trying to make a comment about the Raiders in the Bay Area, but YouTube's sensitive. They're censoring that? That doesn't make any sense. Do you think theater is gay? Well, there's definitely a lot of gay people that do theater. Do you like the Halloween movie series? Yeah, it's a classic. I like it, but it's nothing like it's better than Scream. That's what I'll say. Like people, these diehard Scream fans, Halloween is better than Scream. But Halloween is kind of just like okay. The recent ones have been they're just money grabs, but it's kind of entertaining. Yeah, I don't take Adderall either. If I was on Adderall, I would be a bit that would be a bit crazy. AOC being single, well, she better go quick. I'll tell you that. She's probably about. They're gonna announce she's in a relationship in the span of 2 weeks. Watch. Well, she might be in a relationship, but they might hold it off from announcing it to the public because it makes her look bad if she finds someone that quickly. Horror movies have been bad lately. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Obsession. I really liked Obsession, but other than that, Evil Dead, Burn. I was told it wasn't that great, and I mean, I liked Evil Dead Rise, but I think it's probably just more of the same. I think it got a little bit worse reviews than Evil Dead Rise. I remember the one dude, that dude, I really like that comment from that one dude. He's like, the only reason I know of this channel is because of the Backrooms review. And I knew there was going to be somebody like that because obviously that's not my niche. So there's going to be different, newer people that say that. So that was pretty funny. Social Network too. Honestly, I'd still watch it though because I love the Social Network. But Jesse Eisenberg is kind of weird for not accepting that role. I mean, he must have been really annoyed with the Zuckerberg comparisons. He plays a great Zuckerberg, but dude, they're making another one. Obviously, you have to be Zuckerberg again, otherwise the movie can't be made. And he's like, "No, I'm not doing it." Well, then who are you going to get to play Zuckerberg? Well, who some random person, I don't know. I mean, I saw the trailer for it. To be fair, the trailer for Social Network, the first one wasn't very good, but the movie was amazing. You want me to post dating content? Yeah, I don't really know what to post other than just it's just gonna be it's just gonna be like incel stuff, honestly, man. I mean, it's all incel stuff. That's what I post. But it just that stuff is saturated. It's just, I don't really want to do that. Do you always want to be big on YouTube or something that you just kind of started? Uh, I don't know if I always wanted to be big on YouTube, but I wanted to have a successful channel for sure. Probably since I was 17. Dating sucks for dudes. Yeah, I mean it's kind of been drawn out. I think people know. Will the YouTube ad revenue changes affect you? I don't know. I saw they made us agree to something. They made us agree to something. I'm not sure if that's going to affect me or not. I'd have to really look at the changes. From what I saw, it didn't really look like it was going to affect me. Blonde, brunette, or redhead? I'm not really a person that has a specific type in terms of hair. I did any of them are fine, honestly, for me. Top five movies. Oh, you have to see what is that site called? My Letterbox or whatever. I think on my Letterbox I have 8 5-star movies, but I've only got like 150 reviews that I did. I've never played on PC. I've only played on console. Daily Warrior Slop anti-Muslim movie. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be very good. I don't really watch those movies though. If you get more than 8,000 viewership hours per year, you won't notice a difference. Wow, what does that mean? I don't think I would notice that. Yeah, I think I get over that by a lot. But I wonder what they're doing to smaller channels. I think dating a 10 to 10 woman in this market is you're gonna be in for a battle. Let's just say, especially if she has an Instagram, you're gonna be in for a battle that may not be worth fighting. It's just not. I mean, I just want to date someone relative to my level. Honestly, I guess. But with hypergamy, it's about attacks. So for someone, I'm gonna probably, I could date someone a little attractive, maybe. There's a bit of a tax though. There's the hypergamy tax. You got to if you're a guy, you got to potentially date down a little bit. Are you on Rumble? Yeah, I post some videos on Rumble, but not as much though. The new rule is to help YouTube boost bigger channels to make more ad revenue. Yeah, it's a business. Come on, man. Come on, dog. A 4? There's some crazy tax going on. Do you like Michael Jackson music? Some of the songs are catchy. What's worse when a girl is too thin or too heavy? Too heavy. YouTube double dipping, charging people a monthly fee not to see advertisements, only to get paid regardless if people pay not to watch the ads. Well, that's just a convenience thing. No, I like YouTube Premium. I've had YouTube Premium for years. I just use YouTube too much. I can't deal with unskippable ads. I haven't had an unskippable ad in years because I've had, what is it, $15 or whatever. They have raised the price. I mean, these subscriptions, they continue to raise the price. They say it, coincides with inflation, but I think YouTube Premium is good. I have it, and I think they should give you YouTube Premium if you got 100K subscribers. They don't do that though. To be fair, like some of these guys though, with how thin, I do think if a girl gets to a point, it is very unattractive depending on how thin they get. Some of these Hollywood women are really unattractive because they look like they're starving themselves. It's just not attractive. You get to a point where it's like you gotta have a little bit more weight. You're not gonna bring me back to that. What a plane trip that was. You know what? That might have been the last plane. No, I took a plane trip after that. You found the AirPod. You're not finding it. It was. You wouldn't believe it. I don't even know how it got stuck in a tube. I'm not. It got stuck in a tube. It got stuck in a tube. You're not getting it. It's probably still in that tube as long as the plane is still together. That's a United Airlines plane. It's still in a tube. I don't even know how they have it, like a tube in right up against the window seat. I don't know how it happened. Can you go back after YouTube Premium? What do you mean? Go back to watching ads? I can't do it. Rate Zendaya. Zendaya is too tall for me. Zendaya's like 5'10", 5'11". How tall is Tom Holland actually is shorter. I thought they were the same height. He's legitimately like an inch and a half shorter. Is Tom Holland seriously 5'8" or 5'9"? Yeah, she's taller than him. He's 5'8". Yeah, it makes sense. It does make sense. I could see it. It's a weird dynamic. I thought they were the same height, and then I looked and I was like, well, she's actually taller than him by about an inch and a half. He has decent looks and is rich. Yeah, obviously it doesn't matter. I'm just saying it. It's an odd relationship dynamic when the woman is taller. You know, I understand the short guys get angry about it. I mean, listen, I'm no Shaquille O'Neal. I'm not even 6 foot, so I can say it. But it's like, yeah, I probably want the girl to be shorter than me. That would be ideal for a relationship. Yeah, how about the ginger in that movie? Dude, the thing is with gingers, I even see the discourse. It's so sad. They always say, "Well, ginger women are so hot, but the men are ugly." That's literally what they say. But that woman, yeah, that ginger woman in that movie, that's Irish stock. Conan O'Brien, he's a lib. They're all libs in those talk shows. Do celebs ever marry normal people? Some of them do. Some of them do. But think, dude, honestly, this stuff with like, you're gonna meet your wife probably at your job. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Like these celebs, they meet, they can bond, with the fact that they're both rich and they have things to relate to. You meet your wife when at a job when you can relate to her. It's just like that's where you're gonna meet your significant other. Mhm. Why are most Irish Americans extremely liberal? Well, because they all live in Massachusetts. Massachusetts is like the liberal bastion of the United States. Most of the Irish are in the Northeast. It's a very liberal area. But the ones, there's some that settled in like there's some that settled more in the Midwest. I think the ones in the Midwest are probably more conservative. There is no ginger nationalist movement. It's we would get trounced. I mean, it's not we don't have a big enough population for that. I mean, back in Ireland, maybe. My time in Ireland was eye opening. My homeland is completely cucked. No, my homeland is the United States. See, I have allegiance to the United States. I don't really care about Ireland, honestly. That's the difference between me and with assimilation. Yeah, I mean, I think Ireland's a little bit more complicated. I know what you're saying. It's very liberal, but they do have some pretty far right wing movements in Ireland. Let's just say that. They think they're better than Irish Americans. Yeah, I mean, we don't want to be hostile with them. We have, we've evolved from Ireland, from our native country. We've joined an empire now. I think the native Irish that still live in Ireland, they're a little jealous of it. They might be a little jealous of how powerful the Irish that went to the United States have become. And we've assimilated. It took us a little while to assimilate, but we assimilated. All Australians you have met are assholes. I really haven't met any Australians. Jane Daniels. Yeah, Jane Daniels is a weirdo for the stuff with LSU. Daniel, do you come off as being arrogant because of your hair? I'm not sure how to respond to that. Why people always ask me if I'll date a certain race? I just you know. You know, I prefer to date within my race. I'm not a big fan of Warzone or those type of games, battle royale games. I never played Warzone much, only in 2020. Predictions for the Andrew Wilson Candace debate. I think there's going to be a lot of filibustering. I think it's going to be frustrating to watch for a lot of people. I never played Fortnite. What'd you do during COVID? COVID at this point is becoming it's becoming pretty long ago. 2020. Uh, Dude, I didn't do anything during COVID. I, I guess mainly just follow cryptocurrency. I think follow the election. Yeah, she shouldn't accept that money. She shouldn't accept the 300K. Is she actually accepting it? You would figure she would like donate it to charity and would be like, "Oh, she's such a good person." But she might not even do that. Like, oh yeah, she needs 300. Like the entire thing is so stupid. She won't debate. She needs 300K, $300,000 to get her to debate. Oh my! They can't just have a debate. I don't. I've never watched that. I don't know what that is. The best debater was it Charlie Kirk? Uh, the best debater. I don't know. I haven't really watched. I mean, Andrew Wilson is that's kind of his thing. Yeah, I don't I don't smoke weed at all. I mean, maybe once or twice, but I don't like weed. Kirkwood demolished Shapiro. They believed a lot of the same things, honestly. You want to debate me? You're not gonna beat me. Just join. You don't have to give me $1,000, bro. Just join my when I do a call in stream. Join it. Candace Owens made a counter offer of 500K to do the debate. I honestly don't think Rubio will run for president if it had to be based off of this. When do I do the call in? Well, I haven't done one. I only did one ever, but I'm going to do another one probably on Zoom, unless I can figure out how to work Discord. Maybe tomorrow I'll do it, or if next week. Well, the first call in stream only lasted like 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll dox what town I'm from. This shouldn't matter. There's an app. Yeah, I don't know if I want to have people call a number. I feel like that's kind of inconvenient versus just joining. And also, I'd have to do it on the computer, not on my phone. Yeah, I know. If people spam the N word and stuff, I don't know if that's a problem. I don't think it is a problem. I mean, YouTube would just have to allow it. X Spaces stream. Yeah, I guess. But then that gets people from X. I don't know if I want that. I think I would have to get rid of people. Unless, if it's on Discord, I think you probably could if you're a mod on there. Zoom would be easiest. Yeah, I mean, I don't like using Zoom, but Zoom probably is the easiest. I could do it really easy by just muting people when they join, so only one person can talk. But I don't want people to have webcams. Debate Amy Acton. I mean, I'm not running for governor. She's not going to debate me. Oh, it's the same questions. You like Mike Tirico? Mike Tirico does a good job. It's the same questions. Now it's a troll. Chances the Iran war ends in 2027? I don't know. I can't even answer it, honestly. It's impossible to answer a question like that. Like, chances the Russia Ukraine war ends. Well, I would imagine you're softer on immigration because you're Mexican. And I'm not Mexican, so we're going to have a much different opinion on immigration. Do you think oil could reach $120 per barrel in the fall of 26 or spring of 27? No, that would be dumb. I mean, they're not going to do that. It's not going to reach $120 per barrel in the fall of 26. I don't know about after that. You joined the stream 15 minutes ago. Well, thanks for the update. Jim Rome, I don't watch Jim Rome. But I don't watch, I never really watched Jim Rome. I don't even know what he was on. But I used to watch sports talk when I was younger. What percentage of cars are now electric? Do we get as much gas? There's definitely a higher percentage of cars that are electric nowadays. Although maybe I was reading it plateaued at a certain point with people transitioning to electric. I don't know. The thing with electric, you really got to have one of those at-home chargers. Otherwise, it's kind of a pain in the ass. These people, they go to the charging stations. It's like, dude, you're literally spending 50 minutes sitting at a charging station. I don't. I mean, if the car is worth it, I guess. The cars are really nice. Like the Teslas, the interiors are really nice. But you were there for your 2024 election coverage when you were posting like 3 vids a day. Yeah. Well, it was a lot of content because it was just a lot of polls and shit. You come off. You're far right wing. I mean, radical. I'd have to see some other beliefs, but yeah, you're a far right wing person. I'll say that. Who is the dark horse for the Republicans in 2028? Somebody that hasn't come to the forefront yet. I think the dark horse is probably someone that's anti-Israel, but not in the way that Tucker Carlson is. I was looking at Teslas. I just don't want to get one. It's just the sedans are big vehicles. I don't know. Yeah, 2024 was a great. I mean, even like the election time, it is kind of insane how it lines up with September and October, and it kind of goes right into the winter, the election, the entire timeline from the fall to the winter, because the election being like the first Tuesday in November. It's like crazy how the timing is like that. I think Trump's going to do a lot of preemptive pardons. I don't know the extent, but there's going to be a lot of preemptive pardons. Yeah, I don't think Massey could do it either, but I would figure Massey would run as an independent or something. I just don't think Massey really fits with Republican politics right now. I don't know, man. Like the greatest president. How do you even measure that? I've been alive for like fucking four presidents. I mean, you can say Lincoln or Washington, but if you didn't live during it, it's hard to really. There's always going to be a biased lens that's you see things through. Larry Elder. I haven't heard about Larry Elder in a while. Yeah, I agree. The DSA, I mean, in general, it's good for Republicans, and I don't like saying that because that is accelerationism, but that's kind of how politics is in a sense. Visit Peru. Peru's an interesting place. I want to visit a lot of places, honestly, man. I think it's good to visit places, but I'm really not much of a traveler. When I visit countries, I don't really feel welcome. It's only true accelerationism if they win the presidency. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it has to be the presidency, but the party goes more to the left. Have you ever been to Mexico? Yeah, but not Mexico City. A resort in Mexico, so it's kind of like not the actual cities of Mexico. I hear that Mexico is really dangerous. Like even going to the resorts is dangerous from the or maybe that's not a thing anymore, but I remember seeing a lot of that. It's not even that foreigners dislike. It's like I just don't feel comfortable I don't really feel welcome going to other countries. I don't see the necessarily the need for it. People view that term negatively outside are very unrealistic people. Accelerationism can work in places like the UK. The US isn't white enough. You know what, dude? It is interesting, but you do have to think about these voting patterns. I know exactly what you're saying, but the problem is like in the US, so many of these white people are very liberal. And I guess it's a lot of the young white women and they can be reprogrammed or whatever. But in a general sense, you are right. It really is white people are conservative and minorities are liberal in the US. But again, in these liberal areas, the white people are the ones that are electing the most radical Democrats. And I guess that's because it's such a limited, set. There's no conservatives voting in a Democratic primary, so it's easier. We do have an amazing diverse situation in the US. I mean, the country's so massive and there's so many different climates here. I mean, going to other countries is fine. I just don't really I don't know. I mean, who doesn't like going to other countries, staying in a nice hotel? Like obviously everybody likes traveling, but as long as it's a good country, but I mean that's the argument that I've been making about how they. I mean, I've said that before about the UK and how they're on top of each other. You basically have to confront it head on. But a lot of the white people that haven't woken up or just don't care, they're in suburbs. They don't really have to care at this point. Yeah, I was watching that Nick Fuentes video about rezoning, and it's actually correct, and they talk about that constantly about how the zoning in America is so bad. And you think about it, it's like, well, they just want to rezone white communities and add a bunch of immigrants to them. That's basically what it is, and that kind of gave me a different perspective on zoning and these people that try and push this zoning propaganda. You always feel kind of gross when you sleep in a motel or hotel bed. Uh, Motel, yeah, but motel's different from a hotel. Hotel, I feel pretty. Hotel is always really air conditioned, and I like hotels. I like hotels myself. You feel awkward traveling, like you're imposing yourself on other people. Yeah, that's in a way that is what it is. It's a weird feeling. I mean, if you travel a bunch, you probably just get used to it. It doesn't matter, but Brett, thank you. I appreciate that. You ever been to Los Angeles or only San Francisco? No, I've never been to Los Angeles. Only San Francisco and like Alcatraz. I don't even know if anywhere outside of San Francisco. Maybe we did tours of San Francisco and stuff, and those big redwood trees. So I don't know. Maybe it was when I was younger. Come visit San Francisco. Yeah, I mean, I like the colder weather honestly in San Francisco. San Francisco, man, it's been colonized by Asians. No, I'm sure there's a bunch of different people in San Francisco now. They got pretty crazy zoning in San Francisco. You can't really build up. There's no skyscrapers there. They say it's because of the earthquakes, like the fault line. Isn't Ohio super crappy? No, it's basically I would imagine. Listen, like when it comes to suburban life, it's probably the exact same thing to a lot of Midwestern areas. There's really no difference. I mean, our cities, you could say, yeah, definitely worse than like what Illinois has, but it's pretty normal in Ohio. The problem is, Cleveland just got decimated in the mid 20th century. You've seen yeah, East Cleveland's a fucking hellhole. East Cleveland is comparable to Detroit for sure. Visiting Cleveland is interesting. There's a lot of neoclassical architecture, but it's all like it's just the city is just it's so much different now. It's a different world from the way people used to build. It's crazy. Cleveland Heights, Euclid, yeah. Yeah, they tried to preserve League Park. I think they preserved it to a degree. Like there's a new field on top of it or something. The best city out of Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati. Uh, I don't know. It depends what you like. If you want corporate, like newer stuff, Columbus. Yeah, honestly, with the golden statues, I they said that that was what it originally looked like. So I'm, it's whatever. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's tacky. I think the gold, that much gold, is tacky. So it would be more just straight stone. I would do stone statues like that, but not gold, or not the gold brush, whatever they used to give it that effect. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this live stream. Thanks everyone for watching. Like the stream down below. And so we've got this pretty big debate tomorrow. We'll see what happens, but it's during the morning, so maybe I'll title the video stream reacting to it. Columbus is kind of like Austin. Yeah, I could see that. All right, guys, I will see you later.